Trevor.
Hello, Bryan.
How old are you?
I am 22.
What's the best lesson you learned
Oh, okay.
in 2021?
I already know what
I
I
would
said.
say the best lesson I learned is surround yourself by the right people. At times when you don't, things can go downhill. And when you do, you'll feel better for it. Whether that's here or back in West Texas, it makes a big difference.
I mean, that was a good one last year. That was a good one for that year.
What's the best lesson you learned in 2022?
Keep working hard, even though things might not be coming to plan, and just start with like the little things, and then they'll all add up into your bigger goals.
Hello, Matt.
Hello?
How old are you?
I'm 21. Whoa.
It's best to be patient and put your head down and work. So years past, like things haven't really been too clear as to like where I'd end up. And this year like finally paid off. So like kind of being patient and things like God works in mysterious ways. So that's kind of just being patient, putting my head down, and it worked out in the end.
Why beanie, man?
What's the best lesson you learned in 2022?
It is important to go out and see the world, because there's a lot of really cool things out there, and unless you put yourself in that position to go see those things, it's hard to like experience the great things in the world. Repeating myself, but you can hit that.
Hello, Preston.
What's up?
How old are you?
22. How to grow, I guess, in just like every way. Mentally, going from a bad place to get myself to a good place. Physically, like getting myself from small to aspiring to be like bigger and like fit and stuff. Another big lesson, I guess, is to not care so much. So, not caring and growth, probably. That man bun was going crazy.
What's the best lesson you learned in 2022?
One of the answers I said that I could like still apply is like not caring so much. Like I think maybe there's been like a continuation of that. Other than that though, I think something from last year is learning how to like, I think I learned how to like be myself more, I guess. So like maybe like self-discovery of things that I maybe thought I liked that I found out this last year that I didn't like. So just like self-discovery, I guess, learning how to like be my like true self, I guess, and like assertiveness. So like if something like went wrong or didn't go my way, or like if I have to like take control of something, I think I learned maybe like how to like take that step of like being assertive and like handling it how I think I should.
Hello, Bryan.
What's poppin', man?
Nothing much.
Okay.
Who's interviewing him? How old are you?
I'm 21.
I'll say perspective because I usually have words of the year, and 2020 it was patience, and 2021 is perspective. And not that I judged people a lot beforehand, but I wanted to really just stop talking and listen more. So I wanted to see, how people thought, and some people think they're right in this scenario, whatever. So I wanted to listen, and see how I can see it from their perspective. So perspective, definitely, that was the biggest lesson I learned.
Okay.
That's a good one. But biggest lesson I learned, I think consistency might be my word of the year, especially with like what I've been doing so far. So just staying consistent, especially in school as well, because I kind of took my foot off the gas pedal. But we'll be back next semester. It'll be good. So I think consistency and perseverance are biggest lessons I learned.
What was the biggest problem you had to face in 2021?
As far as a problem, I wouldn't really call this a problem, but it really is. All my setbacks and my injuries and my sicknesses. Got sick like 4 times in a row, and I got my cut open face, and nothing was really going right for me for a few months there. And it just felt like it would never get better, but it did.
I lied.
What was the biggest problem you had to face in 2022?
Probably just the on the field stuff that like happened with me this year.
Biggest problem is probably choosing the right people to be around. I feel like, you know, who do I spend most of my time with, and like how am I prioritizing my time? It's, you know, it can go both ways. Like if you spend time with the right people, like I think y'all are the right people to spend the time with, but if I don't do that, then I fall into bad habits, I guess.
It's a good way to think. I mean, I think I still think that way, so.
What is the biggest problem you had to face in 2022?
Outside of lacking funds to pursue new things, I think that biggest problem would be like finally cutting off those relationships that I talked about, and like finally moving on and trying new things. So it's not easy for me to let go of people in my life, but when it's time to let go, I'm learning how to let go. So I feel like that was really difficult this year, considering that I used to enjoy having lots of people in my life. So it was like a new experience of life having a smaller group of people in my life. So that's something to adjust to.
Rejection, or thinking, or being not good enough, and that's kind of like what got me going with the lessons, I guess, for the lessons learned. Both of those come from a source of rejection and not being good enough, I guess. Dude, like that's very true. Like I'm glad I said that last year, because like now thinking about like why I said that, I started like thinking about everything about why I said that. I don't think I could have answered that one last year like any better. I don't think that was class.
What was the biggest problem you faced in 2022?
Learning how to cope with different things, I guess. So like last year was like the first time since I started when I was like 3 years old, like not playing footy, like for real, like not playing soccer, like seriously, like because even like after playing college, playing like semi-pro afterwards, like last year was like the first time I like put that aside. Learning different time management now, because my whole life I was like, my time management was based off of like putting time aside to train or to like travel or like to go to games or stuff like that. So like not having like soccer, like it sounds like dumb, because like having soccer just seems like, oh, it's like added time and like a stress factor, so like not playing should just like make everything easier. But it was a big problem because I feel like there was time I wasted, maybe. Like instead of playing, I thought I had like more time to do stuff, but in reality I probably put like the same time towards everything else, and then just like had that time that used to be for soccer for like sometimes nothing. So like I think like lazier, because one of the things I learned was like physical growth, so like in the gym, and I think I spent less time this year like lifting and stuff. Having more time to not do anything and maybe like taking advantage of that.
I guess it was almost finding who I was or who I wanted to be. So, you know, going to UTA and figuring out who am I, because I switched majors from pre-med to computer science. So finding my personality and my future and who I want to be.
No, yeah, that's true. That was like it was really tough. Especially going from TCC to like UTA. I think I've done a good job so far.
What was the biggest problem you had to face in 2022?
Honestly, I think this was a good year overall. I think the major thing was school. It's just tough, especially switching majors to software engineering and being consistent in that because it's a huge switch from pre-med. So withstanding like mental blocks and like pushing through those mental blocks.
What is a goal or aspiration you completed or worked on last year?
Putting myself out there more, and I think that's my main goal for this upcoming year too. I think I did well. Just like, rather than having people approach them, and then I want to keep getting even better at it.
Really?
I think I did bad at that, to be fair. Like, I did good sometimes, and like, I think I have gotten better at that, but I could still improve for sure. For last year, I would say, like, I took some minor steps to, like, working towards my physical therapy, like, getting into grad school and all that. But, like, just now it's starting to pick up. Like, tomorrow I have that interview, or Friday I have that interview. And that's, like, a really big step for me, I think. And I think going into this next year, that's, like, my biggest goal. Like, I'm really pushing everything else aside to get ready for that.
Really, I think working on like being more creative, like y'all have kind of pushed me to like get outside my comfort zone, and like it's easy to like work on things that I love doing, but like working on things that I'm not good at isn't always the most fun. So I feel like I've been trying to write poetry, I've been trying to read more, just kind of taking things like as I learn them, like not getting too frustrated with it. But that's something I've been working on this last year.
Still doing that. It's easy to like go back to things you're good at, but putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, like it's hard doing that in itself, but then being in an uncomfortable situation is another problem entirely.
What is a goal or aspiration you completed or worked on in 2022?
That's crazy. In the middle of the interview, this guy's walking.
You're killing
it. I want this on there. Providing for myself, even like as I put myself in new situations and like new environments, it's important to like be rooted in like what I believe in. So if there's like a lot of people around me, then like I don't want to stray from what I truly believe in. So something I worked on, like achieved, was like putting myself in those new situations and sticking to my guns. So I feel like that's like a big thing outside of like pursuing physical things like baseball or like my degree, stuff like that. Like that stuff just happens just by working hard. But like sticking to what I believe in is something that like can go anywhere.
Last year my soccer account started, and the original goal was 100 days of some sort of training, whether that's like in the gym, playing soccer. I surpassed that and ended all 2021 doing it every single day. So that was my goal achieved, was hitting not just 100 days, but exactly on the dot, 365 days. Rather than just kind of like saying, oh, I completed that, now I don't have to do anything. I think I did a decent job of still like, when I was playing, still doing like consistent training.
What is a goal or aspiration you completed or worked on in 2022?
For this year, I think getting more into depth with like my physical therapy, like being able to like do what I'm doing at TMI, I think is huge, because like not everyone like kind of gets that opportunity. True. So doing that, and I think maybe just also getting as close as I am to like graduating.
I started a podcast, which I'm currently doing.
How many breaks did I get?
Did some YouTube stuff. I'm in the works of finishing a book, which is really exciting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the works of a lot of things that started in 2021.
I did finish the book. Let's go. I finished the book. I low-key forgot I wrote a book. I actually really forgot I did. It's sick. Like I didn't think that's something I could be able to do.
So same question. What is a goal or aspiration you completed or worked on last year?
Just keeping like my creative mind open. Like the J. Cole interview I saw last year was like, did you leave any creative stone unturned? And he said when he thought about that, like he didn't like his answer to it at the time. So I think I'm kind of in that same place to where like every creative avenue that I think about, I want to attack it, whether that's like videography, film, content creation, especially like my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Like it's doing really well because I've stayed like consistent with it.
What was your favorite part of 2021?
Our trip, that was in 2021, right? In the summer? Yeah.
I thought that was before
That,
2021.
traveling to Cali for the soccer games. I guess just traveling in general is just my thing, so.
What was your favorite part of 2022?
I don't want to be boring and say like traveling again, but that really is like my favorite part of like everything. Like traveling again to the games and traveling to like New Orleans this past week and traveling just to like see my grandparents and all that. I don't know, just to like get away from normal life. That's really...
He's rich, guys. That's what we're getting from this.
Oh yeah.
Baseball season, by far. Life is going good. I mean, life still is good. Life's great, but baseball, that's probably something I'll remember forever. I had the time of my life, so I made some new friends, made some new memories, built on some old friendships. It was great.
Yeah, I'm still lucky enough to experience that, so I do. This last season was a bit different from years prior, but like it was still time of my life. Like I'm not going to be able to stay like that for much longer just because you can't play forever, but it's still very real to me that like I get to play college baseball.
What was your favorite part of 2022?
Getting to go to California and I mean going out and seeing any part of the world, because I didn't realize that I was only in Texas for like 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
And getting to go see somewhere new, which is like a privilege in itself, but I also got to go play baseball and I got to see family I've never really gotten to see before, so it was definitely like experience of a lifetime. So
Rediscovering myself has to be. The year started out me just like in a bad place, and I felt distant from friends and family, and even like, because I was coaching in the beginning of 2021, I didn't really feel like I had a connection with like the kids I was training or anything like that. But by the end of the year, I feel like my relationship with all my family, all of my friends, all of the coaches I have and who I personally coach as well, I feel like those became at an all-time high. But that doesn't necessarily mean for like friendships wise as well, of like everyone. Like I lost some like friendships in the year, but those were the ones that I feel like needed to be lost. So I discovered like who like those real friends are, I guess, and then made those relationships, like I said, with family, friends, and people I work with, at an all-time high, like the strongest point.
I remember
That commentary in the back sounded like a Terry
What was your favorite part of 2022?
A continuation of like cutting out people I don't need in my life. So people in my life, and like not cutting them out, but like I guess as you get older, like people just kind of like fade out. It's not like me cutting them out, but it's like more of like a fade out. So like things, I guess as well, like for instance, maybe like alcohol consumption, bad habits, kind of started like fading away a lot this last year. So I think getting rid of like negative energy, negative vibes in my life last year, like all that fading away, and like new opportunities, like the PT stuff, and hopefully by the time next year I'm watching this, like I have it set what I'm doing, because like this year also, or like last year also presented me the opportunity of echocardiography. I don't know if I'll be watching this next year and laughing at that, I don't know, but right now it's like a current interest, and that came up. So like toxicity going out, good people and things coming in, I think
Definitely the Colorado trip I took with
Yeah.
Matthew, Preston, Trevor, and Christian. We were just like living. That's how I felt. Like every second we were there, like I really didn't know what we were doing next. I really didn't care what we were doing next, but it was out of state and it was with like the best people that I feel like I could have gone with. I actually felt like I was living, not just on a constant schedule of just doing the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out.
No, it's true. That trip is sick. Like, that's definitely a core memory. Traveling is just like overall like cool. Like Matt and Trevor's answers for the previous questions, like a lot of them like dealt with traveling and stuff like that.
What was your favorite part of 2022?
Over the entire year, I think maybe it was being settled, like again, because after COVID happened, going from TCC to UTA, that was more like a transition period. And so over 2022, I feel like I settled into like my new chapter of life. So I feel like just all of 22, getting to figure out like who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. I think the entire year of like growth and like fulfillment and settling down my own life, I guess, would probably be my favorite part. I guess. It's kind of a weird answer.
When was the last time you cried or were genuinely sad?
This goes along with the whole sickness one. I remember yeah, oh man, I don't think I told y'all, but there was that one point where
It was you,
I
that's
got
you.
struck first.
That's you?
I got fine, and I was like right in the middle of the
Looking back
season,
at this, it's like,
and
why did I cry over
it was like setback after setback, and then I had my cut, and then that was another 3 weeks out, and then I thought I had COVID, and that would have been another 2-3 weeks out. That would have been like my season there, and I just started bawling. I was bawling my eyes out because it was so hard, and I thought it was only gonna get worse, but it ended up just being strep, so it's alright.
When was the last time you cried or were genuinely sad?
The last time I remember was during, I think it was the Eastern New Mexico game. Like after the game, because I felt like I should have played and we lost and they suck. And I should have.
They do stink.
Yeah, I should have played for sure. But I didn't. And after the game, I just couldn't hold it.
Genuinely sad that I lost my dog, Ranger. Yeah, that one hurt. And it still like sits with me, and like I keep looking at pictures on my phone, and like I miss him, and I try not to be like too down on it. Like try to keep the relationship low. He's just a dog. At the same time, it's more than a dog. It's it's a family member in a way. So it hits some nights. You'll be going to sleep and you'll think about it, but. I cried that day. I cried a lot. But I kind of spent the whole day, and I got to talk to people I cared about, and they cared about me, and that was hard. But I mean, things could be a lot worse. He lived a good life.
Still get sad, man. It was something special. I didn't realize how special it was, but it was something special to have a dog like that. So
Ranger's the goat, man.
Ranger is the goat.
When is the last time you cried or were genuinely sad?
I was genuinely sad to see some teammates of mine leave because they were like close friends that I, grew bonds with, and it's been a couple months now, and like I've yet to see them again. And I was genuinely sad to see some close friends leave my life, but that's just how people come and go, seasons come and change. But I genuinely miss those people, and I've reached out and like I've said hello, but it's not the same as like seeing them every day. So I think to say that that's my saddest part of the year is a pretty good thing because it came from a good thing. But I do miss a lot of close friends. So.
But in November, there was a lot of nights of just like me laying in my room in my bed, super confused of just like, I guess like what my future consists of, and like I didn't know like what direction I should head into towards certain things. And I was like driving myself to some points of like insanity and like a certain level of craziness that was just like in like crying in like a frustrating way, I guess, of just like being lost, not knowing what to do.
When is the last time you cried or were genuinely sad?
It was not even like that long ago. It was like last 2 weeks of December. My older brother and I got like into a really, really like bad argument. You know, it was like very real what we were arguing about, and it maybe immaturity level came back to me, and like I started calling him like names I shouldn't be calling him. He's calling me maybe some things I don't appreciate, and like to the point like, and me and my older brother like have like always gotten along. Like we've never really like had any problems. So like I was already like tearing up and crying during the argument because it was already like bad anyways. But I think it was also like the fact that like we've always gotten along and we've always just like been good with each other. Like I was crying on the phone, and after the phone call probably crying more because like I got to like think about it more, and I was just like what the heck just happened, and like I wasn't sure like where we would go after that. Like we're good now. Like I mean we both like handled it afterwards like very maturely and stuff, but it was very scary because we had never like been in a place like that with each other or anything.
So I've been really good the last couple of years, honestly. Like I've been part of the best place I've been in a while, so that's nice. Something happened, I won't say her name, but something happened with my friends, which was pretty bad. When I initially heard it, it hit me like a truck, and I literally don't cry. I don't know why, like, that's not me, like, I'm not like trying to be manly, but like, when I heard it, I just broke into tears.
No, yeah, that was tough. It was just, I don't know, it was just really, really sad.
When is the last time you cried or were genuinely sad this year?
I don't think, like, I'm literally such a just happy, like, joyous person.
The same reaction next year saying, he's lying.
No, it's true though, like, I think it's generally impossible to, like, irritate me or, like, make me sad. Like, I'm just past the point where I let, like, bad energy affect me. Like, it's just not worth it. So, like, I'm, like, never sad, really. And if I get to a point where it's, like, I might be sad or something, I just give it to God. You know, I let God deal with it. And I move on, you know?
What's most important to you right now?
Meeting new people, making new friends, growing my connections with all the people I already know, being a positive light in everyone's life that I meet every day.
What's most important to you right now?
That one's easy for me right now. It's like figuring out what I want to do for like PT school and where I want to go. I feel like that's the hardest thing. I've been looking the past like few months at where I want to go. I have no idea still. So I think that's most important, and I really want to figure that out.
So, you know, nice kind of kicking right now, huh?
Yeah, and it's like the difference between this year and last year is like this year I feel like it's more career goals that I'm like focused on, while like last year is like personal, like interpersonal.
I agree, actually, yeah.
You know.
Most important in my life would probably be pursuing my goals of playing baseball right now and just kind of being present in that moment, because I get caught up in, you know, what am I going to do after school, or what am I doing, you know, next week or whatever, right? But definitely just being present and like enjoying baseball and like the season that I'm in, because it's a good season, you know.
I think I succeeded in trying to live in the moment a little bit because of what I got to do this year, whether it's like play baseball or go to California, or even like this past couple weeks or month or so, like having a job where like I could learn something from someone about me in the SAGU baseball organization. So like it's been interesting just kind of taking information in the now. So
What's most important to you right now?
right now is figuring out my next step of not only like where I want to go to school, but what I want to do and kind of how I want to do it. I believe I'm capable of pursuing my dreams and like trying to put myself in positions to succeed, but it's not very clear at the moment. I know I'm capable of it, but I'm not sure as to where to take my next step. So that's most important, taking my next step.
Relationships, as in relationship with myself, religious relationships, friend relationships, and family relationships.
What's most important to you right now?
Dude, I really want to keep it the same thing. Relationships with myself, with religious relationships, with other people. But I'm glad I emphasized those first two, like relationship with God, relationship with myself. Not letting myself drop standards for instance, like for goals that I have. Also, like it's important that I keep my standards for myself and what I want just in life for everything. I don't drop standards at any point, and I keep them high, I guess. And to not, if I have a standard for something, if I want something, don't psych myself out of it.
I would say keeping my creative side in me alive, because after I stopped playing soccer, I was at college, that didn't go as planned, but after I stopped playing, it was tough to find who I wanted to be, and so I had to try to be inspired by like lots of things. So once I figured out I wanted to be extremely creative in like photography, videography, stuff like that, like it opened up a lot of avenues to do different things, and being creative gives lots of outlets to the brain. So definitely keep my creative side up and about, and obviously like keep, grow, and manifest like all the relationships I have with my friends and my family and stuff. Because one of my goals this year is definitely to be a better friend. So yeah, I'll say those two things.
Those are good answers. I would say the same exact thing, really. Like, keep my creative side alive, doing more creatively, not being afraid. Like, Tyler, the creator, has been like a big inspiration to me, like, over like my creative period. Same as J. Cole, and he's just like, who cares? Like, adopting like the who cares mindset whenever you're creating. Because I didn't want to start like IG stuff, or even the TikTok stuff, because I was like, I didn't want real people to see it, which is like a weird thing, like a crazy thing to say. But it's like, who cares? Because I got like a bunch of people text me and be like, yo, this is cool. Like, I didn't know you do this. And like me being scared would have like stopped a bunch of opportunities. So I'm keeping my creative side alive.
What is some advice for yourself this year?
I have my goals already lined up for the year. Hold yourself accountable. Like, I have my goals. I know how much it'll make my life better. Hold myself accountable. Hold myself to those goals so that I do make my life better.
What is some advice for yourself in the new year 2023?
I don't know, I would just say like I'm thinking like career focused again, because like I feel like that's all that's been on my mind lately. But maybe like be confident in who I am, and putting myself out there, and like knowing how like smart I am and how like good of a person I am, like career wise. I don't know, just be the person I can be.
Well, outside of, be present and enjoy the moment, because it's not going to be forever, I would tell myself, life's going to get hard in the next coming years, and you're a good guy, and you know what you're doing most of the time, but don't be afraid to ask for help.
Good advice. I think like it was interesting to hear him hit me.
No, that makes sense.
It was interesting to hear him say to ask for advice, because I feel like in a position to where like you can put your pride away to ask like for help, you're better off with it. And I don't think I was afraid this last year to ask for help, and that means like putting myself in new spots and like new like environments. So like, something you're not gonna be good at. Like, I took up surfing, and like I wasn't I was awful at it, but I had people around me to where I could ask questions. And
What is some advice for yourself in 2023?
it's okay to make mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to like not know what to do. you are smart enough and like capable of making decisions on the fly and like adjusting to things that come your way. So it's important to remind yourself that it's not the end of the world if you trip. So just have confidence in yourself. Basically, like learn something new.
Don't give up. With my like account that I did, there was definitely times where I wanted to give up, and I didn't give up. And then now that that's done, whatever I set myself towards, like whatever the next thing is that I like put my mind down to like focus on and do, don't let myself give up on that. That could even go for like the gym right now. Aspirations of now trying to get like bigger and stuff and stronger. Don't slip up and don't give up. And that even going into hopefully physical therapy school soon. That's gonna be very hard, but don't give up on it. Mixed feelings about that one. Because I was thinking like, I hope I talk about like PT, because like I didn't give up on PT and like made steps towards PT. But hearing myself say don't give up on the gym and soccer, I didn't give up on the gym. I just became maybe a little less consistent in the gym. Me saying don't give up. I said soccer stuff. I did see the soccer stuff through, but like
Yeah, you did.
I didn't give up playing. I knew I just had to stop in order to like pursue other things.
Yeah.
But,
What is some advice for yourself in 2023?
but don't drop standards, I guess, for like what I want to pursue and like what I want to do with my life or who I want in my life. Like don't drop standards. Don't be so easy to switch. Like I brought up echocardiography, and maybe partially that comes from like being scared of doing PT, but also not, because I actually like enjoy the idea and concept of it. But don't let it be like, don't let that idea be because of I'm scared to like do something else, I guess. And next year I should hopefully graduate. What I want to do like with my life, no matter what it is, there's no point for me ever that I should like stop trying. Don't even like think for a second like to slip up in any way. Like I literally have 2 more semesters before I start like a next chapter and whatever it is. So like don't let myself settle, I guess.
It's 2022, and just do it. And whatever you want to do, really
Do it.
attack it. You know, you're gonna fail. There's gonna be some low times, 100%. Who cares? Really? Who cares? Do what you want to do. You know, no matter what anyone else says, and chase it and be consistent. You know, be consistent for once in your life.
Just do it, yeah. So like, what's crazy is me and Matt, at the start of every year, have like a quote where we make up that tied to the year. So 2021, I think, was just have fun. 2021, like don't care, you know, just have fun. 2021. What happened that year? We took a trip to Colorado. We kind of manifested it in a way. 2022, I think, was just do you 2022 or something like that. So like focus on yourself.
What about 2023? What is some advice for yourself?
I think where you're headed right now is good. I think you know what you're doing. I think you know what you want to do. Don't hold yourself back from doing it. You're really your only roadblock when you're doing something, like regardless of what other people say. It's really you at the end of the day that blocks you from doing things. So I think just keep doing you, create, be consistent, and just work hard. On to the new question. Got 2 of them. What makes you wake up and attack the next day?
I feel like just like bettering myself. Like bettering myself physically and emotionally, just career-wise, just like becoming a smarter person and becoming like a better version of myself.
Madeline Klein content.
Oh.
No?
For sure. I should pull up that.
Hey, yo!
Actually, wait, I got it in my memory.
The joy I get from learning new things. In recent memory, the past month or so, I've been trying to learn new things, and that's exciting to me because I haven't gotten the opportunity to do that or put myself in positions to do that in a long, long time. So it's exciting to me to, you know, read a new book or to write some poetry or to learn a new game or whatever, but like whatever it is, like it's exciting to me, and I haven't had that excitement in a while. So I guess that's my motivation, is like that feeling of learning something new, which is like been fulfilling for me the past month or so that I've been trying to do so. But that's what waking up so far.
Seeing. Wow, that's a good question. Go on.
All three of y'all.
That's a class question. Seeing like whenever I do properly like wake up and like feel motivated like to attack the next day, I actually like it's like steps, I guess. So like every morning and like every time I've had that mindset, I take another step towards just bettering myself overall. Sometimes there are like mornings where like I ain't get out of bed until like after 10 o'clock. I feel like no motivation, and those legit like are the worst days. Whenever I like discipline myself and like keep myself to that, like to get up and like really attack that day, there's just always progression one way or another with what I'm doing with my life. So seeing how I take steps forward and like progress myself doing that is maybe just a continuation of like, okay, I did this and it worked out, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Who came up with that? Honestly, it's just God at the end of the day. There's so much that's like, I feel like I could really stress about, and that I feel like a lot of people do. But regardless of the situation or whatever's happening, I literally just hand it off to God. Because it's like, I know I can't do it by myself. If something bad's happening, take the weight off my shoulders, give it to God. Wake up the next day, it's a new day. The past is a past. Whatever happens then, can't change the past. And there's always new opportunities the next day, you know. There's always new ways to better yourself the next day, to mend yourself from what you did the previous day. So God helps me attack my next day, because I know what He has planned for me in the future. It's only something that's good and that I can handle. Last question. What's a moment that made you really happy in the last year?
I don't really have like a specific moment, but like I feel like my close circle of friends is still like really, really good, and like I've met a couple like new friends that like are really good people as well, so I'm happy about that.
Getting to see my family in California. I wasn't involved in their lives for a majority of my adolescence, but I was able to rekindle, like kind of bridge a relationship that we've had with them. So it was very like, it was nice to feel loved by someone like I didn't really know, and they definitely like changed my life for, I think, the better. And just having another family member in your life, it's weird because you don't get new family members every day. And it's not like they're children or anything, but they're like people who've known and cared about me without me even knowing. So that's very like fulfilling to me.
VSA, like for work, this year more than others, people and like parents like will go out of their way, whether it's to me or Dylan, will like, it was a lot more this year than it's ever been of feedback about my performance, I guess, and like my interaction and the way I like do things, I guess. Like there's probably a few like bad stuff, but like the amount of just like positive like feedback I got from parents and like even like the kids, like the way they like express their appreciation, I guess, the compliments I get from the work that I do was just on a level that I haven't like had before. Like I've gotten compliments from all the other years doing this, but like last year was, dude, it was just, I can't even tell you like how many I got. Like it is just a feel good factor, and like I guess I can help answer another question. Like it's maybe also things like that that like really want me to get up and attack like the next day.
Waking up and realizing that I'm like blessed with like just the opportunity to do things. Like honestly, one thing that I've been doing or been trying to do more over like the last 6 months is wake up and just thank God for like giving me a new day to just do whatever. Like some people gotta wake up, get to work immediately, gotta help their family, you know, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like I have my own opportunity like to kind of do what I want. Obviously do smart, you know, make smart decisions. I'm just happy that I think just knowing my position. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
And that's the wrap. Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.